There's something I keep seeing in many households, and the more I pay attention to it, the more wasteful it feels. A lot of LED bulbs look completely dead at first glance. They won't turn on, they flicker, or they light up for a short moment and then go out. So people assume they're beyond repair and throw them straight into the trash. But in reality, most of these bulbs are only affected by one very small issue. So small that if you know the exact cause, fixing it takes just a few minutes. The problem is that most people don't know this. So money gets wasted and electronic waste keeps piling up day after day, while everyone knows this kind of waste is hard to handle and can cause serious environmental pollution if it's left unchecked. Personally, I don't see this as a small issue at all, because it happens so often, and the fault itself is surprisingly common. Almost every household has run into it at least once. So instead of just talking about it, I decided to make a proper video, putting together several practical tips to fix LED bulbs, all focus on the same simple but extremely common problem, something you can realistically do at home. Before we get started, let me be honest with you. However many LED bulbs you put aside because you thought they were broken in a box, a corner, or on a shelf, go grab them all, bring them here, and today we'll fix them in one go, saving some money and cutting down a bit of unnecessary waste at the same time. To know exactly why an LED bulb has failed, the first step is always the same. We need to open the bulb and check inside. From the outside, you can only see whether it lights up or not. The real cause only becomes clear once you look inside. From my years of experience, the most common cause I usually think of is that one of the LED chips has blown, which is why many bulbs that seem completely dead can actually be fixed fairly easily. Figuring out which LED chip is causing the problem is actually quite simple. I'm just going to turn this cable into a makeshift tweezer and test each LED chip one by one. When you pick up the chip that makes all the other chips light up normally, then you know for sure that this is the one causing the failure. This method is quick, straightforward, and anyone can try at home without needing any fancy equipment. The bulb lit up, so I just shown you an example. Once you find the faulty chip, mark it immediately, since it's hard to spot, and I do the exact same thing with the other bulbs to find the fault one by one. The faulty LED chip is basically trash and can't be reused, so I'll use a knife to remove the glass case around it, and once that's done we can move on to deeper repair, handling the remaining parts or replacing whatever is necessary. Did you know? It sounds unbelievable, but with this pencil, we can actually get that bulb to light up again thanks to the conductive properties of the pencil core, because it contains graphite powder that conducts electricity really well. You just need to fill in the spot where the faulty LED chip is. It's super simple and surprisingly effective. A small trick that can save a lot of bulbs that you might have thought were completely dead. You can see it clearly. The first trick worked and the bulb lights up normally. I promise I'm not tricking you. It's a small but very effective trick anyone can try at home. Alright, I'll stop here for now and move on to repairing bulb number 2 with the next trick. Let's see how the next step works. Oh! I forgot to mention something. I've muted this video because if there's background noise, it would make your viewing experience much less enjoyable. Even though a video without sound isn't perfect, having noise mixed in would be way worse. It would just feel annoying and boring. It's the same fault and the same basic principle, but there are plenty of different ways to deal with it. Aluminum foil can conduct electricity as well, so I'll use it here to cover the spot where the faulty LED chip was removed. The method is simple, but the result is something you'll see right away. To cover it properly, you'll need some electrical tape as well. Just cut a short piece, Place the aluminum foil strip right in the middle, then press it directly onto the spot where the faulty LED chip was. And you're done. Simple but effective. The second trick worked as well. As you can see, really simple but effective. Even though it looks a bit more complicated than the first one, it's really not complicated at all. Just follow the steps and you're done. Now, let's move on to the final trick and see how the last solution can be just as interesting. For this final method, I'll use a simple nail to completely destroy the faulty LED chip, clearing out of the circuit. Just watch my hands and you'll understand exactly how it's done. So, all three quick tricks have been successfully carried out, and the bulbs are lighting up like new. You see, really simple but effective. Actually, through these tricks, I want to emphasize one thing. Sometimes the bulbs we think are completely dead are really just suffering from a small fault, and knowing the right way to fix them can bring them back to life, saving money and reducing electronic waste at the same time. Each trick is based on a simple principle, but applied in a different way. An important part is that you don't need complicated equipment. Just a few items you already have at home, from a pencil to aluminum foil, a nail, or some electrical tape. Every little thing can become a tool for repair if used correctly. Now I want you to think for a moment. Could you come up with other creative methods that are just as effective and quick to fix faulty LED bulbs safely? That's what DIY is about. There's always room for creativity. And the key is finding a solution that works for your own situation, learning in the process, and feeling that satisfaction of fixing something with your own hands. Just imagine how many LED bulbs in your house are sitting in boxes or corners because you thought they were dead. And with a few simple tricks like these, how many could you actually save? It's fascinating that even minor faults can be addressed in many ways, and the creativity in each approach makes repairing not only effective but also enjoyable.